So, can one book make you a millionaire? Or, in other words, I prefer the term financially independent. Short answer is no. Yeah, it could help. A particular book or a few books can definitely help because they can give you the steps and the processes. I'm going to give you a couple of tips here about how to become financially independent. So, tip number one, you have to readjust your psychology. Those who are financially independent have, assuming they didn't get born into the money, or they didn't get very lucky and won a lottery or the equivalent. No, people who actually earn their way to financial independence, it's a lot about the mindset. It's all about psychology, how you view money, how you view your lifestyle, having discipline, having impulse control, deferment of gratifications. These are all psychological phenomena. These are all psychological dispositions. And this has the biggest role in terms of you reaching a goal of financial independence. I remember watching a video with Mike Tyson, who earned, back in the 80s and early 90s, he earned hundreds of millions of dollars and still managed to go bankrupt. So here's a person with massive earning ability, and because he didn't have the good psychology and financial skills, he lost it all. So yeah, you need, number one, you got to readjust your psychology. You got to get the impulse control happening. You got to get the deferment of gratification happening, same thing. You have to change your disposition vis-a-vis money, lifestyle, and so forth, so that it is supportive of reaching your financial independence goals. Number two, you got to become financially literate. Most people, and it always surprises me, most people are financially illiterate, meaning they don't understand money at all. So what do I mean by understanding money? You have to understand how to save, how to invest. You have to understand the tax system in your country so you can take advantage of the tax system to minimize the taxes. One of the biggest expenses anybody has is the taxes that you pay to governments. So there are ways to mitigate against that. There are ways to manage that. But you have to become financially literate, these three things. And finally, the final, I think, ingredient in this recipe of financial independence is you have to up your skills. You have to become more and more valuable as an individual so that you make more for your money over time. So for example, when I started in the early days, in my first business, my skill level was this. And over time, I got better and better and better. My skill levels increased. And as such, I was much more productive financially and otherwise for the time I would put into anything. Let me put it in simple terms. So freelancing. So I get into the freelancing space and I start freelancing. So the first gig I get, I'm making like $20 the hour. It's okay. This is back in, early 90s. So I'm making $20 the hour, equivalent $40,000 a year, and today's money is equivalent 80 grand, I guess, in North America. There's inflation, And but over time, I became better at what I did. My skill set increased, and as a result, how much money I was making per hour started to increase quite a bit. So it went from 20 an hour to 25 to 30 to 40 to 50, 200 the hour was the last level before I went into SaaS development for my own software. Anyway, so there you go. That's the key. So you have to also keep upping your skills. So if you're watching this, you're wondering, how do I become financially independent? How do I become a millionaire? Is there one book? No. But the more you learn about this stuff, the better. But the number one thing I suggest that you concern yourself with is your psychology. That's number one. You have to realign your psychology so that it is financially beneficial to you. Again, I mentioned a few points. Deferment of gratification is number one. Being able to not want or need to buy stuff or go on vacations without thoroughly thinking things through and managing your money. Impulse control, not being an impulsive buyer and so on. Not needing to keep up with the Joneses. It's like one of the reasons I was able to reach financial independence at quite a young age was not that I fell ass backwards into buckets of money. what I did do was when I started upping my skill sets, realigning my spending habits accordingly, and started saving, investing, and so forth, I didn't make the mistake so many people make. I didn't increase my lifestyle. I kept my lifestyle very, very reasonable. So I lived downtown, where up here in Montreal, in a smallish apartment, whatever, 600 square feet, something like that. But I had a beautiful view, great location, and I was paying X per month. It was very little. And I stayed there for much longer than I needed to. Like, I could have afforded a much more expensive place, even when I moved in. I could have bought a much better place. I could have, I had a lot of opportunity financially that afforded me. I could have got myself a nice brand new car, all this kind of stuff. But I just lived a frugal, easygoing lifestyle for several years. And in that time frame, I started saving like a mad dog. And in a very short period of time, I found myself way ahead of any of my peers while working part-time. So that's just one example of where psychology and mindset has a huge role in terms of you being able to reach your financial independence. So no, I don't think one book will take you there. I don't think one book will make you a millionaire or financially independent. But the more you learn, the more you earn, right? Keep learning, keep upping your skills, learn to control your impulse, your psychology. This is your lizard brain. This all has a huge role in terms of all aspects of life. If you want to learn more about the lizard brain, take a look below, links below, to my Lizard Wizard course. People have told me it has had a huge impact in their life because it teaches you how your brain works. It teaches you about the two operating systems of your brain. And I give you practical skills that you can leverage to start learning to reprogram yourself so that your brain is aligned to whatever goals you want to reach. All right, I hope that's useful. I'm Uncle Steph. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like my hat, give me 2 thumbs down. Show me how much you hate my content. And yes, I do have very long fingers. That's true. You know what they say.